Hello, everybody. WeeBrabbit here, and welcome back to the Otaku Overload episode 9. If this is going up when I believe it's going up, this should be the first podcast of the new year. Should be going up around the 2nd of January, which is pretty exciting. And yeah, I just want to welcome everybody with the new year. I am excited to see what this new year will bring. And I'm just excited that, you guys are choosing to still listen to The Legend of Jonathan and I, so that is awesome. Legend of Jonathan is here, of course. Say hello. Say something inspiring for the new year, I guess.
Hey guys, it's me, the Legend of Jonathan. Welcome to 2023. I'm excited for the new year, of course, just like WeeRabbit is, and I'm pretty happy that you guys keep watching us, have our podcast and even the playthroughs that I show up on.
All that good stuff.
Yeah, all that good stuff. I'm pretty happy about that. And so I hope you guys are going to have a great year as well, like this new year. And I hope all of us do, actually. So that's what I have to say.
We'll see how it goes, I guess. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, guys. This is episode 9. Can't believe we already have 9 of these going. Pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I know. And I guess we will get started. So far, not any changes to the podcast quite yet. Everything's going to be the same for now. Although I've been thinking, I do wish we had like a little outro song.
That would be pretty cool, yeah.
Right now, the podcast kind of just ends, but we'll figure some of that stuff out as we go.
Yeah, we will.
But I was thinking about that during the last episode as it went up, and I was like looking at it, but we'll figure it out. For now, though, let's start with our week. Let's talk about what we did to end last year, since now it's a new year. And as always, you can go ahead and go first.
Okay, so what I did was, so basically, well, yeah, because, a lot of people would expect I'm going to talk about 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐿, because, that's usually what I start off with. This time around, the last episode they were going to release, supposedly, they didn't actually release it this week, which is kind of weird, but I think they said that it was just they wanted to release it by, I guess, January. So obviously, yeah, I haven't seen the newest episode, so there's no 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐿 this week. What I did was that basically I messed around with basically my Christmas gifts, because I got this gaming PC basically for my brother, and it runs really good. I like it because it runs pretty good, and it's like a built-in one. It's built into my monitor, actually.
Oh, so it's a all-in-one?
An all-in-one. And I actually like it because I don't really have that much space either.
That's pretty cool. So how does that work? So instead of it being, because I've never seen them nowadays. I used to see these all the time back in the day, the old Macs that look like a round tube or whatever.
Oh yeah, they used to look like the freaking CTR TVs and stuff. Yeah, I know what you mean.
So how does it work? So it's just a monitor that happens to have computer parts in it then?
Yeah, it's it's built into the monitor.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's
I wonder what that would look like if you open it up. I'm kind of curious because
I wonder too.
Because I haven't seen one of those in a while. I've always just seen the laptops or the
monitor
towers
with the tower. Yeah.
I've never really seen an all-in-one. That's interesting.
So yeah, you just plug it up, you load it, you turn it on, you connect a wired or wireless device to it to use as a mouse or a keyboard.
Yeah.
What's cool is that this PC can run a lot of games on it. Not
cool.
a lot. But basically, I downloaded Fall Guys and Fortnite, which Fortnite I never actually played it on my own. So this was the first time downloading it. I kind of just downloaded it because it's free and all that stuff.
Yeah. And it ran both?
Really good, actually. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Maybe it lagged a tiny bit, but it wasn't a big deal where
and that could have been more of that could have been more of a internet thing, honestly.
Honestly, yeah. Fortnite, I think it did say that my capture card was very outdated, the graphics card. But but I think that's not it was mostly internet that was the issue with that game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it runs pretty good. And then the thing I've been mostly doing on my PC is I've been playing Kingdom Hearts on it because my PC can run the HD remake. Remakes, actually, remasters. And so that's what I've been doing lately.
Oh, well, there we go. If it can run that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, so that's what I did. I even been streaming. So, quick shout out to me. Go check out my Kingdom Hearts stream I did. I think it was today, actually. Yeah, check it out. And yeah.
Nice. Okay, so hold on. Do you know what specs your computer has or whatever?
Mm, I think it has like what's the name of that thing? It's like AMD. Yeah,
Yeah.
AMD Radeon like 5, I think. And then it has like I can check really quick actually, because I have it like right here.
Hmm.
Uh oh my God. Oh my God, yeah. I know that it's like very
So you're using the computer right now as we're
yeah,
speaking?
as we're talking,
Oh,
yeah.
nice, nice, nice. That's
So
cool.
it basically my process well actually no, it's just processor actually. Damn. Okay. This is where it gets kind of difficult. Yeah. Basically, I know it's like AMD like Radeon like 5 and then some other thing. And basically like yeah, I remember seeing it. It was super power like every almost every game that I came across on freaking like the thing, it loaded up like it said that it was compatible basically.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of having some trouble because I would have to like see the specs in front of me. But the point is, if you were able to run stuff like Fall Guys and Fortnite, and you're able to run, the Kingdom Hearts collection, PC collection,
Hmm.
that sounds like it's a pretty good computer. Have you
It
tried any?
really
Have you tried any emulation to see how far it goes?
I tried Wii and it ran perfect. Well, at least for the game I downloaded, because
Okay, because
it was Ivy the Kiwi,
oh, okay, got you. I'm guessing you tried it because it's like a really small file, right?
and I like it.
Yeah, for me, when I'm trying games out, I either try that game or I try if I'm trying to do Wii, I'll try Animal Crossing City Folk.
City Folk, yeah.
Because yeah, it's such a small file, so it's like really easy to just like pop it in and like get started.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
that's pretty good. So it runs Wii then, and you said it ran
Hmm.
it pretty good. Yeah, Wii's pretty advanced, honestly, to be able to use like Dolphin stuff. You gonna try
Hmm.
GameCube? Just test it out, see if it ran
Yeah.
anything like
It ran Sunshine pretty good at HD.
oh, nice.
1080p actually.
Okay, so yeah, so it sounds like it's a pretty badass computer then, because it sounds like
Hmm.
you're basically running a lot of stuff you would want to. And you might not be
Yeah.
able to run like everything, but if you can
Yeah,
do
because
like a bunch of
there's
that,
some oh
I was gonna
sorry.
say if you can do a bunch of that emulation and you can run some of those newer games, and that's pretty much all you want, honestly. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? That combined with like your Switch you have or whatever, I mean, you're basically
Hmm.
set. That's pretty good. That's cool.
Yeah. GameCube did have a graphical issue with Sunshine where it kind of like does like the weird screen tearing thing on the right.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, but that's because I think I got to like 1080.
Yeah, you might need to check the settings, and
Hmm.
I know it gets complicated where it's like, no, you have to use like a different like driver, and
Hmm. And so
But
basically I just turned it down to like 720 and it ran perfectly. Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty good. So that's a really good computer.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then
And you said that the main thing you've been doing, though, sorry to cut you off,
is
is
yeah.
Kingdom Hearts is what you've been focusing on.
Yeah, I caught up pretty easily.
And so you're able to stream and like play and everything perfectly.
Hmm.
Damn. So yeah, pretty good computer then. All right, all right. That's
Yeah.
quite an upgrade. Because I know before you would have trouble trying to do stuff, it would be like all laggy and stuff. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's streamed without any lag whatsoever. It's crazy.
Damn, that's good.
It's super crazy.
That's cool.
Um, and yeah, that's basically what I did. Like the PC stuff. I just
Hmm.
been playing Kingdom Hearts. I put like a mod on it where like it fixes up some stuff because I remember like
Okay.
because the PC port people were saying that it's really like buggy and like it crashes pretty
Yeah, I
frequently,
was thinking
which actually happened with me.
it's not the Steam version. It's not like the Epic Game Store version or
Yeah,
whatever.
because it's only on Epic Games. Yeah, they don't have a Steam
Yeah, and
version, unfortunately.
Epic Games isn't great with a lot of their interface and stuff. It's like really
Hmm.
cheap. It's like very basic. Yeah,
Hmm.
I've heard bad stuff
And
about it.
yeah, and so that's what I did, and it does fix a lot of stuff. And the game does crash pretty frequently, which actually happened a lot during my stream
That
yesterday.
sucks though. That sucks then.
It really does, but I don't know. I've gotten kind of used to it. I just hope that I can like at least beat the game in some way. And thankfully, the mod I installed it has an autosave feature.
Oh
So
well,
like
that helps then. Yeah.
yeah, so basically, like, there's times where it'll crash after it auto saves, and I just reload the autosave and I just keep playing like nothing
Oh
happened.
yeah, that's not too bad then. Okay, I mean
Yeah.
it's still kind of lame that happens, but
Hmm.
all right. I mean it's better than nothing at least.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay,
And
okay,
then,
not
yeah,
bad.
that's basically what I've been doing. And what's cool is I mean, this has nothing to do with the PC, but now I have LED lights in my room, and I'm using them right now as we speak.
Oh,
That's
nice.
super cool.
So you
Yeah.
have like a whole gamer setup in your room now.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, next time you stream, I need to check it out so I can see what your layout looks like.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I mean, damn, that sounds pretty fun. So you got like a whole gamer setup going now. You got a better computer now. That's pretty good.
Hmm. Yep.
Nice. All right, all right. Was that it, by the way?
Hmm. Yeah, I haven't really
Um,
done much. Yeah.
yeah, well, I mean, not that you haven't done much. It sounds like you've been busy, like just playing with your new stuff. You know what I mean?
But other than that, yeah, no.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I was kind of talking to Triffer about it, because we were recording Katamari,
Yeah.
and last time I recorded with him, I kind of told him because it was like right after Christmas. I told him not that it's like disappointing, but it is one of those things where it's like, yeah, I feel like I can't really ask for anything because like I already have everything I want.
Yeah.
Like I just bought myself like the badass PC earlier in the year. So, I already have like my freaking Switch for like day one. I have my PS4 since day one. Maybe a PS5 I could ask for, but at the same time, I'm still not super interested. Next
Yeah.
year's next year's where I'm thinking I might be interested in getting one finally because the game's coming out. But up to now,
That makes sense. Yeah.
up to now I haven't been that interested. So I already have my PS4 since day one, Switch since day one, badass PC. I bought it earlier in the year. Um, my Xbox, Series S, got it during the pandemic, got it for super cheap, been happy with that. So I don't know. And then I always anime figures, I buy them here and there at like, conventions and stuff. And I don't know, like, I have everything I want, you know what I mean? So it's kind of hard, like really, there's not really anything I can like ask for like a wish list because like
Hmm.
either already have everything, or if it's stuff I would ask for, I would probably just buy it myself.
Hmm.
So in a way that's cool, but in a way it's kind of disappointing because it's not like I can really be surprised by anything where it's like, oh my god, I got that thing I wanted, you know what I mean? But
Yeah. That's what
it,
happened with me last Christmas and I think even my birthday, where I was like, I don't know what I want because I have like almost everything. And so basically this year I actually did try to like think of stuff. And so basically I did end up with like everything I wanted on my list.
that's
But
cool.
it was just really hard though to think of stuff I actually wanted to
Like
put
I said,
on
when
a
you already
list.
have a
Yeah.
lot, it's like, there's not really much to ask for. I feel like I have
Yeah.
everything. Yeah. And like I said, in a way it's good, but in a way it's kind of bad because it feels like you can't get surprised, which kind of sucks, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But anyway, that aside though, jumping over to my week, I had said I was gonna try to catch up on a lot of the anime because a lot of them are coming to a close. And so I have one, two, three, four, five anime to talk about this week. We'll see if next week I talk about maybe a couple more as I finish them up. We'll see. And I would love to do like a list of like my favorites, like since winter 2022 just ended.
Yeah.
Or is it winter 2023? I forget how the anime season works. But anyway, since it just ended, I would like to be like, oh, this is what these are ones I liked, and here's ones maybe I didn't like as much, whatever. But anyway, so I'm gonna talk about, like I said, five different anime. I'm gonna talk about what I thought about them overall, and I'll kind of go over the synopsis again in case anyone's interested, as well as I will try to even mention where you can watch it in case anyone's curious. I'll try
Okay.
because some are a little
I
bit harder. So the first time I talk about is one that I talked about last week. I'll start with like the newest one that I finished and kind of go from there. So last week I talked about Bocchi the Rock, and obviously since last week I finished it. And yeah, Bocchi the Rock was pretty fun. Sitting at 12 episodes, Bocchi the Rock just ended about like last week, I think, like during Christmas, and it was a pretty good anime. As I said, it's about this girl that she has like the pink hair. Her name is Hitori Goto. Somehow that becomes her nickname is Bocchi. I don't know how that works. It's one of those Japanese puns, I guess. And basically, it's about how it's this girl that she's very shy, doesn't have a lot of friends. One day, she decides that she sees some boy band talking about how they use music to make friends, and she decides she's going to you'll get at music and become a rock star and join a band. However, years pass, and even though she got good at guitar, she didn't make any friends until one day she decides to carry her guitar around to school, and some girls ask her to play in their band. And from there, it's the adventures of Bocchi and how she starts to open up with her band members. And what makes it cool is that number one, it's really funny. Like whenever she freaks out about stuff, it's really funny. Her like daydreams she has and how she freaks out. And there's even all sorts of like animation changes and stuff, which is like really fun. And she's relatable, with her anxiety and stuff. I think we can all kind of relate to a bit of the anxiety and being shy and feeling like you're not good enough and that sort of thing. So, Another thing that's fun or good about it is that the music's really good, the voice acting's really good. It's fun. The other characters seeing the dynamic because everyone kind of has like different issues going on where like others aren't maybe as introverted as her, but they also have like problems like talking to people, or the ones that are super extroverted. Maybe they have their own issues and they're kind of covering it up by being extroverted, that sort of thing. So it's kind of interesting seeing the band bond and grow together, over time. And it's also really cool that even though I kind of said it is technically like a cute girls doing cute things anime, it is that, but at the same time it's not, because it does focus a lot on them actually like practicing and like putting in the work to like write lyrics, put themselves out there, have their first audition so that they can play at the club, have their first like concert, have concert at like the culture festival, stuff like that. Not to say anything bad about cute girls doing cute things, but I feel most of the time it focuses more on just the girls hanging out and being cute and like comedy. And this one, I feel like it really does show you the side of like a band and then practicing and like building themselves up, which is cool. And
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
yeah, and then near the end, not to spoil it, but I've heard where it leaves off. People have said that yeah, if you like follow the manga, from here it actually gets like a little more hardcore, where there's going to be like some rivalries and different like almost like a tournament arc, with like them against other bands and stuff like that.
Oh, that's
So
pretty
from here it's
cool.
actually supposed to get a little more hardcore, like more into it. Like this is them building themselves up, like the rookie stuff of forming the band, getting good, getting like their first shows out. And then after
Yeah,
that, it's gonna get like a little more hardcore as they like dive deeper into like the industry, you can say. So I think that's kind of
yeah,
cool. You know what I mean?
yeah. That sounds pretty lit.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess I really like it. It's really fun. 12 episodes. You can watch it on Crunchyroll, I guess, is where you can mostly watch it, because there's other stuff it says here if you go to like my anime list where it says streaming platforms, but the other ones are all like Japanese stuff. So I would say Crunchyroll is probably the easiest place to like watch it.
Nice.
And so yeah, it's Bocchi the Rock, 12 episodes, available on Crunchyroll, and I definitely recommend it. I think it is very fun. It's a good comedy slash slice of life, slash music sort of anime. So there you go.
That sounds very on my wish list. I mean, my watch list.
To watch this, yeah. Second anime I want to talk about. I think I mentioned it once near the very beginning of our podcast. I had like I said I had kind of started looking at it, and I kind of put it second on the list after Bocchi the Rock, because it's another one of those anime that messes a lot with like the art style. Like it's kind of
Oh
what it's
yeah, I
known
know what you're
for, 'cause
talking about. Yeah.
it's a gag manga. I mean gag anime. And I am of course talking about Pop Team Epic season 2.
Oh my
And
God.
Pop Team Epic, this was a really weird season because technically it's 11 episodes, but the 12th, it has 12 episodes, but technically it says it only has 11 because the 12th episode was actually like a Super Sentai like episode. Like legit, it was all live action. And it was
Wow.
all like, like Kamen Rider, like Super Sentai stuff where like, oh, someone uses like the thing to transform and they're fighting enemies and stuff.
Damn.
Oh my god, it's just so weird because like Pop Team Epic, if you don't know, it's based on this manga series where it's just a gag slash comedy manga where
Yeah.
the two characters, Papuko and Pipimi, they're these girls. Now one of them is like tall and she has dark hair, and the other one's shorter and she has blonde hair, and they just get into all sorts of like trouble, and it's all sorts of like parodies of stuff, and it's all sorts of just jokes and gags, right?
Yeah.
And basically it's all a bunch of like little skits, and it's all sorts of they change a lot of art styles and nothing really goes together. It's like one skit when something's happening, and then it's like a minute and then it goes to like another thing and something else is happening, and it's just like all jokes.
Yeah.
And basically what it did this first season that was really funny is that at the end of every episode
Oh,
they
I know what
would,
you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, it's like there was like a fake anime they kept like promoting. Like it was
Hmm.
like a rom com, and they kept going like tune in next week where such and such girl is gonna like finally go to the beach with like the guy she loves, but all the friends are there too, and like what's gonna happen or whatever, stuff like that. And then like
Hmm.
when I would reach the end of the season, it's like, oh, she finally like made her confession, and like what will like will they be together? Find out next season or whatever. Just dumb stuff like that. But like they actually showed like a few scenes that made it funny too. Like they actually like made up a fake anime to like make fun of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so this time, the first episode, it starts with just like this random, like Kamen Rider, Super Sentai thing, and it has like the whole intro. Instead of like an intro for Pop Team Epic, it's an intro for like that series, and then from there it goes into the the animated stuff. And they do that for like the first like 11 episodes. And for the 12th episode, it was just a Super Sentai, like Kamen Rider, like parody, basically, sort of thing. It was just so weird. It probably makes it so weird to describe. You just have to watch it. It's just so funny though, like all the weird gags and visual style changes and parodies and stuff. Like there's episodes where they're just hanging out with chocobos for some reason, doing a little chocobo dance, and then
what the heck?
they're making fun of like, oh my god, what was that thing they made fun of? They made fun of like Dora in an episode, but it was all violent and like
Damn.
I don't know. They just make fun of everything. It's just like really all wild. It's all over the place. It's kind of like being on crack. But if you like comedy stuff, I mean, it's an easy watch. It's only like 11, 12 episodes, and each one, it's technically like 11 minutes. But if you watch the second half, they change voice actors.
Oh, that's what I was gonna mention.
Yeah,
I was
and then they do like gags a bit differently. So I'd say like part one of the episode will be like girl voice actresses,
and then the second half
will be like two guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they always pair them up purposely together where like I'm not too good at recognizing them. But I know, for instance, like in the first season, it was like, oh, these two voice actresses, they work together on, I don't know, let's say some idol anime. And that's why they've worked together before, and that's why they're playing the two characters, because they can bounce off each other. They've had chemistry, and then the second half of it, it's these two like comedians, and it's these two guys, you know what I mean, and they're doing the voices, and so they always purposely pair two people together that kind of have a chemistry and history.
Yeah. That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just, like I said, it's just fun. It's really goofy. It's really weird. It's not gonna be for everybody, but if you can just watch it and enjoy like the weird skits and like how crazy it is, it's kind of fun. It's weird, but it's interesting. So
that sounds very interesting.
Yeah, it's a very weird.
But yeah, that whole thing where I always remember that basically the second half is literally guys' voices.
Yeah.
First one, and I always have seen the English dub where it's great because it's like, you see like the girls, and they have like a cute girl's voice, but then the guys, they're like this deep.
Yeah, just deep like, voices. They're not even like, except for like when they are like using like, what do you call it? They're they put emphasis to words. They kind of try to make it sound cutesy, but like in the deep voice. It's really funny.
It's so and then,
that's what I'm saying. It's just fun. You can tell the people who are doing it are just having fun with like the voices. It's just super silly. Yeah, it's not gonna be for everybody once again, but it's one of those things that if you like very strange out there anime comedy stuff, it might be for you. So this one, like I said, it's 12 episodes, technically 11 if you cut out the live action one, and this one can be found on apparently Funimation.
Okay, which Funimation's still around the app?
Yeah, I was just saying now that it combined with Crunchyroll, I wonder how that works. I'm not too sure how that works, but it lists it as Funimation. So
yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, so that's something I'll probably look into in the future. Honestly, I'm wondering how that would work. So
all right.
Then keeping with the whole comedy train going, I mentioned this at some point, but I finished Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out, the second season, also known as Uzaki-chan Double. I guess it's making fun of her boobs. I don't know, man. Anyway, that's the one that I described it. It's the one about how there's this guy, the whole trope about like, oh, he has like a mean look and everyone's scared of him and he doesn't have a lot of friends. What's different here is they're not high schoolers, they are in college, and basically it's these college students that they knew each other from their high school days, because basically the short girl with the big old boobies and the short hair, back when she was in high school, she was a junior to this guy. I mean, she was younger than him. He was like a really good at the swim team. He was like a swimming team like prodigy, basically. He was really good, and he actually helped like train her, and he helped he helped her out because she was having trouble on like swimming and the swimming team, and basically that's where she met him, and she found out that he looks really mean, he looks really stern and scary, but he's really nice. He was always there for me. He always helped me, etc. And that's where she kind of met him, and she kind of got to know him and whatever. And so by the time they get to college, because he's like a year or two ahead of her, he, went to college first, and then I guess she went to the same college later, and that's where she basically goes, "Hey, I know that guy. He's my, senpai. I know him from high school. I wonder what he's up to." And since she sees that he's always like really lonely, just hanging out by himself, her excuse is like, "Oh, I'll make his day by like paying attention to him," and like she's kind of annoying, and she's kind of like always like
Yeah, I've seen that. She's
taking
really
advantage.
annoying.
Yeah, she's always taking advantage of like eating his hey, just hanging out with him, and like always like, oh, inviting herself over, that sort of thing. But she says she does it for his sake, which is like kind of silly.
Yeah.
But basically, yeah, in the second season, it's more about their relationship and how like they've grown over time, like like they're really used to each other, they hang out all the time. They're kind of starting to realize their feelings for each other, that sort of thing. And so it's just kind of dealing with everyone else, their friends are like, these two just need to hook up already. It's so obvious they like each other. Why aren't they doing anything? And they're trying to push them towards it.
Because
but both of them are kind of dumbasses, and they don't like realize the other one likes. They don't even realize their own feelings first of all, and it's harder for them to realize their person likes them back. And so it's just about them dealing with all that stuff. And it's really silly and stupid. It's an easy watch. It's just fun, kind of silly, a little bit ecchi here and there. Not so much ecchi. It's just like more from misunderstandings. Like the mom character's really funny because she keeps thinking like the worst. Like she keeps thinking like the guy's saying on her and he's not. Like there was a part that I watched the dub because I finished like the
sub. Do you want to watch the dub?
Yeah, and so I watched the dub one. It was so dumb. There's an episode where she purposely goes to the cafe so that the two of them can cook together, like her daughter and her the friend, the senpai.
Yeah, the dude.
They're cooking. And after they're done cooking, they're playing with the cats because he's always wanted to play with the girls' cats. But the cats, they're really shy and whatever. And so a lot of the misunderstanding is that the lady thinks that the guy wants to get with her, even though he's talking about the cats and stuff. And so this episode where she's walking back from the cafe, it's so dumb because she's like, "Oh, I thought you would have been gone already." He's like, "No, I got like a little bit caught up, this and that." And then she's like, "Oh, got caught up." She's like, "Oh, I wonder if they finally progressed their like, relationship or whatever." And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Hana finally let me touch her puss."
Yeah,
and he's talking about the cat. And he's like,
she's always thinking the worst. Yeah,
the mom's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you would just say it like that, so like outright or whatever." And like, I don't know, it's just the misunderstandings are so stupid, but they're so funny. And this season they focus a lot also on the rest of the girl's family besides her mom. Like they focus on like her younger brother, younger sister, and especially her dad. And the dad's really funny because he works at a gym that the protagonist goes to let off some steam and to clear his head. Yeah. And they start talking to each other, but they don't realize that they're talking about like that how they're each have like basically the guy's like the dad, he's like, "Oh, my little girl, she's upset because there's this guy that apparently she likes, but he won't like make the move or whatever." And he's like saying it to the guy that he doesn't know is the guy. And the guy's just like, "Oh, that's really weird." But he's like, "I don't know, maybe like if he's not making a move, maybe it's because like, the girl's really special to him and like, he's trying to be respectful." And the dad's like, "Oh my God, you're so right. Like, thanks for your advice. And like, you're such like a noble young man," or whatever. Like a bunch of dumb stuff.
They don't realize
they don't realize they're talking about the same person. They're talking about the same problems. And it's just really funny. At the end, I did kind of hate that instead of progressing stuff, they kind of near the end of the season, like, "Oh, back to the status quo. You'll have to wait till like maybe next season for there to be some changes," But it's kind of like, oh, I hate when they do that. But at least it wasn't like a total step back. Like near the end, they are realizing their feelings for each other. They do want to like progress stuff, but it was more of a like not yet. Supposedly, it's not the right time. Which once again, I think that's annoying. But at least it wasn't totally terrible. I kind of get like okay, fine.
So there's like progress. That's the good thing. Okay.
Yes and no. That's what I'm saying. Not enough, unfortunately.
That's what I'm saying. It's like there's like a bit of it, but it's not enough.
Yeah, because a lot of these animes do that, which is what makes them so.
Or they like lag until like the end, and then they're like, "Oh
exactly." I've heard that this one doesn't, luckily, but it's one of those things where it's like,
like you just wish it's like from the start kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just like super slow. But anyways, that's the second season of that. It was 13 episodes. I recommend it. If you like your, just easy comedy. Like I said, if you like laugh at the misunderstandings and you kind of like stuff that's kind of, easy rom-com or whatever. It's also kind of cool, like I said, they're college students instead of high schoolers. So that's a bit different too. And that one you can watch on also it's listed as Funimation. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, bruh.
Alrighty.
I recommend it too.
Shut up. You watch it. I saw the cover.
Yeah, I saw the cover. That
was enough for me.
No, but I've seen a bit of it. Yeah.
Oh god, so dumb. Anyway. So this one's weird because the whole time I thought it was Spy Family Season 2. But if you look at like the My Anime List database, no, Spy Family Season 2 is coming in 2023. So apparently this was part 2 of Season 1 still, which is really weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, I watched Spy Family Season 1 Part 2, I guess. It was 13 episodes, and I enjoyed it. It's just really, really fun. I like that. Yeah, it's just really fun because Lloyd, who's like the spy, well, I guess I'll give a quick little synopsis if anybody doesn't know. Basically, the whole point is there's this spy that his code name is Twilight, and basically it's a world where like the East and the West are at war. It's like a world where it's just like two big countries basically, and they're at war. And basically Lloyd, he's a spy for the West, and he's trying to stop war with the East. And basically he's like a really badass. He's good like at impersonations and costumes and cracking codes and fighting and everything. He's like a total badass. Basically the point is he's a badass that he's always been a spy, doesn't really know anything else. And they give him a mission that, okay, there's this guy who's influential for the East side, and he's very like hidden though. He doesn't really make public appearances, doesn't really leave his house, etc. The only time he really makes public appearances or leaves his house is when he goes to the academy that his kids are a part of. So basically what they say, we need you to get intel on this guy, we need you to get close to him and like have an audience with him and talk to him and stuff. In order to do so, you are going to need to pretend that you are a family man.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
And, have your kid enroll at the school and use that opportunity that, your kid's at the school, his kids are at the school to get close to this guy. Sounds easy. Unfortunately, Lloyd, since he doesn't have a family of his own, he's going to have to make one up as a mission. So basically, he adopts a little girl named Anya. And little does he know that Anya is a telepath. She can read minds and stuff. And so she uses that to her advantage to get, adopted by him, pretend she's really smart or whatever, really hardworking, even though she's not. She's a total gremlin. But she uses that to her advantage to get, adopted. But he knows that him having a daughter isn't enough. In order to really pass the test, he needs to also have a wife. And there's this partner that he works on missions with that she's not available at the moment. So unfortunately, he's going to have to find some sort of other wife. And luckily for him, he finds a wife in 𝐤. And 𝐤 is funny because her secret that he doesn't know, because they don't know, and nobody knows each other's secrets, is that, the two parents don't know that Anya's a telepath. 𝐤 doesn't know that Lloyd is a spy. And Lloyd doesn't know that 𝐤 is actually an assassin called the Thorn Princess or something like that, where she dresses up like in this like crazy like black like get up, and she has like these crazy needles. She's just like assassinate people. She's like super, she's like super badass. She's like really good at assassinating people. She's like super bloodthirsty and crazy. And basically, she works at City Hall, and she's also just trying to keep low. But the reason that she is in trouble and she decides to go with the whole marriage thing is that the same way he needs her because he needs to pretend that Anya has a mom and he has a wife so that he can infiltrate the school. She needs to get married because basically everyone's growing suspicious that what's up with this girl being like the age she is and she's still single. And I don't know, it just causes suspicion, especially because the whole point is, since I said this country's at war, they say, if this person isn't married, if they don't have a stable life, it's probably because they're a spy. It makes it really obvious.
Oh, okay. And
so in order to keep her identity secret, she decides to, she runs into Lloyd. And the point is they get married and they form a family. So, I'm kind of dragging a bit. But the point is, so there's this makeshift family consisting of a spy father, assassin mother, and a telepath daughter. And basically it's kind of fun because you see the different missions that Lloyd deals with. and how it involves his new family. And it's all about, people keeping their secrets from each other, their secret identities. It's really funny because, Anya, he needs her to work really hard so she can advance in the school, and he could use that to get closer to that one guy. But Anya's like a total idiot that she like sucks at everything. She's like this little gremlin that's bad at sports. She's bad at, school. She's really lazy. And like, it's just really funny seeing how she like thwarts his plans all the time. And like, it's just really fun. It's like a really fun comedy, but it's heartwarming to see like the little makeshift family and how they do bond over time, and they really do start to think of each other as a family. But it's also like exciting because it has, action and like missions that they have to like, go on and stuff. And
it's pretty funny.
It has a little bit of everything. It's just really, really fun.
Yeah, it's a pretty funny anime too.
Yeah, it's like just really fun. And so basically, the second part was just more about, Anya at school. They got her a dog that he can apparently like tell the future. So when she uses her telepath on the dog, he shows her like visions of the future and stuff. And it's about her dealing with that guy. She calls him the second son because he's like the second like younger son of that guy that they need to infiltrate. And it's all about how she like kind of has a crush on him. Like she wants to get closer to him, but then at the same time she's kind of disgusted about how he acts, and he has a crush on her, but he won't admit it because he's like, oh, she's like a commenter and stuff. So that's really fun. And then what's his name? I don't know.
Damien. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, Damien.
Yeah, so it's just like there's just so much going on. It just has so much like interesting characters and all these different plots and stuff. You just like really have to watch it, but it's just really fun. And like I said, it's just like really nice because it's a little bit of everything. It has comedy, it has action, it has heartwarming stuff about seeing them bond more as a family. You see that Yor kind of does start to kind of fall in love with Lloyd a little bit. She really does want to be a good wife, not just pretend. You can see that he kind of does like really appreciate her. And this season, that partner that wasn't able to marry him because she was like, out of country or whatever, they introduce her and she's kind of jealous of his fake family, which is funny. And like, I just gotta watch it. There's so much going on.
Wow.
But yeah, that is Spy. I'm pretty sure it's called Spy Family. I think when it's like an X, I don't think you're supposed to pronounce it in Japanese. It's one of those weird things.
It's just Spy Family.
Spy Family written as Spy X Family, and it was part 2. So this ends the first season. So the first season is like 24, 25 episodes.
That's pretty good.
And yeah, it's a good time to catch up because season 2 is coming sometime in 2023.
In 2023, yeah.
Yeah. And this one, it can be found in a few spots. It can be found on Crunchyroll, Netflix, although it might depend. I think it might be only
I think
Japanese
Netflix would be in Japan, yeah.
But you can always, change your what do you call it? You can always use like a VPN. So but it's on Crunchyroll, it's on Netflix, it's on Amazon Prime Video, and it's on Hulu.
That's pretty cool.
So this one's on a few things. So this one has a few options of how to watch it. You know what I mean? Alrighty, and finally, jumping over to the last anime I want to talk about this week. I had mentioned it a few times, and I've been really hyped for it. And basically, I am talking, of course, about the first season of Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man, it did not disappoint. I had a fun time with it. I thought it was really good. And once again, just to give a brief synopsis, Chainsaw Man exists in a world where for some reason there are these things called devils, and they're like these supernatural beings that they get their power from fears. So obviously something that people are really afraid of, like guns, death, bats, stuff like that. The more people are afraid of it, the more people are afraid of these different like entities or these different concepts, the more stronger that creature is. And so there's this world where these devils are running around and they love to kill people and eat them, and they also fight each other sometimes and whatever. And basically our story starts where there's this young boy named Denji that when his father died, his father had like a big debt to the Yakuza, and when he died, Denji ended up getting stuck with his debt. He basically inherited his debt, and it's this debt that he's never going to get out of because no matter how much money he makes, the people always screw him over. Let's say he makes like 100,000, they're like, oh, but after the fees and this and that, blah blah, you only get to keep like 3,000.
Yeah, it sucks.
So he's never going to get out of debt. And it sucks because when it starts, he's already given up an eye, a testicle, part of his liver, a kidney. Like he's literally sold body parts to try to get out of debt, and it's not working. What changes for him, though, is that ever since he was young, that his father died, he ended up finding a little creature, a devil, called Pochita. And Pochita is this little dog-looking thing that has a chainsaw coming out of its forehead. And so Denji, at first, he was teaming up with Pochita, using it as a chainsaw, like a weapon, to fight demons. And he would use that to try to pay off his debt. But it wasn't working. Where things skip into high gear, and it's not even like a spoiler, happens in the first episode. Denji is betrayed, and he is killed, and he is thrown into a trash can. Pochita, because of how Denji basically saved his life once and gave him purpose by being his friend, Pochita basically says, I love you. I want to see your dreams come true. I want to see you succeed in life. So I will take the place of your heart. And all you got to do is you got to promise me that you'll live a good life for both of us. And so basically Pochita becomes Denji's heart. And so now he has like a ripcord on his chest, and he is now what's known as a fiend. And a fiend is basically when a devil teams up with like a person, like a person uses like a devil's powers. And so basically he's a fiend now that whenever he pulls that ripcord, a chainsaw comes out of his head and his arms, and he's able to fight against, devils. And basically the whole series is about him becoming a demon hunter, a devil hunter, and he joins like this organization, and it's filled with him. And there's this other character named Power that's super crazy. It's the girl with the pink hair.
And she's nasty.
Yeah, she's kind of nasty, but she's funny though that she's also a fiend. She's like the blood fiend, where basically she's like a fiend that took over like some girl's body, and so she can control like blood. She has like blood powers. And then there's normal humans that basically some of them are fiends, where it's devils, people with like devil powers, and they're like a hybrid. And there's also people that they've made contract with some of these devils to use their powers. And so, for instance, the guy they team up with, that he's carries a katana, he teamed up with like a fox devil that he gave up like 2 years of his life and he used its powers. And he teamed up with like the future devil, and it lives in his eye. He can use its powers to like tell like the future and stuff, and like all sorts of stuff like that.
That's pretty cool.
It's kind of hard to explain because it's just like so much world building, but it's just like this really interesting series about these demons running around, these devils, and they're like killing humanity and like destroying stuff, and it's all about this squad and how they're fighting them. And what makes it really interesting is just that, like, first of all, the action's really good. The world building's really good, but the characters are really interesting because, like, Denji, for instance, he's kind of an idiot. Like, obviously, since he like grew up having nothing, for him, just having a home and having meals is like his ambition.
That's like the biggest thing, yeah.
And then after that, his ambition is like, man, I really wish I had a girlfriend. Like, I love to touch some like boobs.
Oh yeah, he mentions that. He like sits in a corner and he's like, I want boobs or something like that. Or I want to touch boobs or something like that.
Yeah. And then everything he wants is so simple because he's not looking for like, I want to be like the best demon hunter, or I want to like be strong. It's just like, no, I just want to have a nice life where I get to eat 3 meals a day because my life used to be so shitty, and I want to have like a roof over my head, and I want to slowly progress of being like I want to have like a girlfriend and stuff like that. His ambitions are really simple. And it's funny because he's kind of a perv, but at the same time, he's kind of not, because compared to other characters, he is respectful. He asks for consent and stuff. He's not going to go and like just like grope anybody.
Go crazy, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like really interesting because he's like a dumbass, but he's like smart, and he's like kind of an idiot, but he's good at fighting, and he's kind of pervy, but at the same time, he's not, because if you like really look at him, like what he's asking for makes sense, you know what I mean? And like, and then like Power, she's interesting too because she starts off as this nasty like demon that doesn't really care for humanity, but over time she kind of like gets to like know what it is to be human, and she bonds with like Denji and the guy Aki, who's the guy with the ponytail and the katana. And I don't know, it's just like really interesting. It's hard to explain, but basically it has good action, interesting characters, really great world building, good voice acting, good visuals. It's interesting because every episode has a different ending theme, which is really cool.
Oh, that's super cool.
I don't know. It's just one of those things you have to watch. But it's like if you like shonen / like action series, I don't even know if this one's in the shonen. It might, yeah, I guess it still counts as a shonen. I was gonna say maybe it's a seinen, which is like the adult stuff. No, it's still shonen. But if you like action and fantasy and world building and different powers, and interesting characters and stuff, I think you'll like this. It's like really good.
I have a feeling this is like the next big thing.
Yeah, apparently it did like really good. I mean, every time that it was an episode, there was all sorts of like memes and people talking about it and stuff. So
I've seen the English dub actually.
yeah, oh yeah, it's pretty good too.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah,
yeah, it's kind of hard to describe. There's just so much to it. It's like so like you have to.
It's something you have to watch by yourself. Yeah,
to kind of know what I'm talking about. There's just like so much to it. But like, trust me when I say that it has like fun characters, good visuals, good story, good world building, and like, everything's like really good about it. Yeah, that one was 12 episodes. You can find it over on Crunchyroll, Amazon, Hulu, or Netflix. Once again, I think it's Netflix in Japan, but it's a few options of where to watch it. I liked the original version. I thought the dub from what I saw was pretty good as well. And like I said, I think this is going to be another one of those big ones. So I would try to watch it. You know, if you can handle like gore and stuff, I would say watch it. I think it's one of those that you'll like get into and really enjoy. So there you go.
Nice.
All right. And that is it for my week. It was just filled with a lot of watching stuff. And like I said, hopefully next week I'll try to even talk about some more. But for now, that's all I want to talk about. Just a few of these anime that I watched. So pretty cool. That, of course, is a good transition because it leads to our news stories. And our first news story is kind of funny. All the news stories are pretty short. So, you know, nothing too big, but I still think they're kind of fun. The first one has to do with Chainsaw Man, which is what I was just talking about, because as the title of the article says, Chainsaw Man manga gets stage play adaptation next summer.
Dude, they be doing freaking stage play adaptations of like everything.
And that's what I wanted to talk about. Like, there's not really much to the story because we don't really know anything about it yet. All we know it's going to run next year in Japan, Tokyo from September to October. That's all we really know. But the really reason I want to bring this up is because number one, I just saw Chainsaw Man, so I felt like it kind of like tied in. And number two, it's just so weird how they make a stage play out of anything in Japan. Like there's stage plays for freaking Demon Slayer, Nier Automata has stage plays. They made a stage play of Persona. They made a stage play of oh my god, there's just like so many weird ones, man. I don't even know how to explain it.
But they make stage plays out of Kingdom Hearts one.
Yeah, they make stage plays out of everything. I don't even know how. Because like, Chainsaw Man is all about action and transformations and fights and gore, and it's like, how will they make that into a stage play? I don't even know.
That's crazy.
It's so weird, but they make stage plays out of everything, and so that's the only reason I want to mention it. That it's just like so weird that. Man, they'll make there's stage plays out of anything. I don't know how they do it, but they always find a way to make it work, I guess.
Like, that's crazy, dude. I'm telling you. When I actually saw this, like, not that long ago, and I was like, dude, there's no way that they're just making a freaking stage play.
It's so random, dude. It's so random, yeah. Random. Oh, my God. So, like I said, that's it for the news story. I just want to share that real quick because it just made me go, what? How? Why?
Oh, my. Dude, they make everything a stage play nowadays.
Like, oh my god, freaking Japan's obsessed with them, and that's even weirder when it's canon to like the series sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Anyway, moving on to the next news story. This is also a short one, but it's one that I thought was kind of interesting. So it says here, Rumour: images of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Switch OLED model leak. Oh, so basically, for anyone who's been keeping track, everyone's excited for the new Legend of Zelda. We know that it comes out May 12th of 2023. But there hasn't been really too much information. All we've gotten is like the teaser trailer, and that's it. And basically, earlier today, I'm looking at this news story earlier today, there was this leak online that, guess what, guys? Same as, I think there was a Switch specifically for, there was like some for, there was some for Splatoon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there was the one for, Sierra Game that had one. Splatoon had one, and then I believe
Pokemon had them.
Pokemon had some too, yeah. Apparently there might be a Switch dedicated to the new game. And looking through the images, people aren't sure if they're real or not. It could be fake, especially because people are really good at Photoshop and all that stuff.
And stuff, yeah.
But if you look at it, it's pretty cool. Basically, it's like a golden Switch with some green details on it, and it's pretty cool because it's mostly gold with some green, and then the dock is white and it has like the Zelda emblem on it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And it's supposed to be like an OLED model, which means it's
That's
supposed to
pretty
be
cool.
like the newer like better one. And then the box basically has Link from that promotional image we have where he's like looking down, he's like in the sky, and he's looking down at all the floating like little pieces of land or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like it looks pretty good. I mean, like
I hope it's real. I hope it's real.
It sounds believable. That's the thing. It sounds believable because like I could see it with it being such a big game. It's like, why not?
But someone could easily fake it.
Yeah, and nothing from the pictures looks like super out of like crazy. Everything looks pretty normal. Like it sounds like it would be real. But people, since it hasn't been verified yet, that's why people are like, who knows,
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought it was interesting because, man, I'm just like really waiting for that game. Out of the games that are coming next year, that's probably the one that I'm like the most excited for.
That's literally what someone asked me. They're like, "What are you excited about of 2023?" I'm like, "Tears of the Kingdom."
Yeah, because I'm excited for other stuff for next year too. Like I'm excited for like the Mario movie.
Oh
We
yeah,
were talking last time.
But
We're excited about like the Spider-Man movie, the Spider-Man game. I'm excited for Resident Evil 4 remake. A lot of stuff. But this is probably the thing I'm most excited for.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And
too.
it's just crazy that we have no information about it yet either. So it's just like, I just really want to play it.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of. I'm like Zelda because I mean I'm the Legend of Jonathan guys. Like.
Exactly.
Zelda stuff. And so I was thinking, I'm like, nah, first thing Zelda, then every other game after that.
I know. Yeah. So I'm just like super tempted to almost buy it too, because it just looks really cool. If it's like a Zelda specific golden.
I actually would buy it too, yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, it's just a rumor. We don't know yet, and there's not really much information, so we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Yeah.
Jumping over to our third story. This one's pretty interesting. Basically, as the title says, Rayman 4 leaks along with original source code. And it's a short story, but basically, for anyone who doesn't know, Rayman used to be kind of like Ubisoft's big mascot back in the day. He had a few games on a number of consoles. Even the Switch has a game. It had Rayman. What was it called?
Legends. It's literally just a port.
Yeah, it was like the last game that came out. But basically, it kind of sucks because it says right here, it says Ubisoft's unfortunately canned 3D platformer Rayman 4 has surfaced along with source code and the game's editor. Rayman's adventure was abandoned when the Wii came out, and the team decided to move forward with the Rabbids franchise, which became a success for the studio, and Rayman was ultimately pushed aside for the pesky creatures. So basically, it's saying that, Rayman was supposed to get a new game,
but after
Rayman 4. And it sucks that, that really is what happened. That there was a spin-off. I mean, there was a game where Rayman had the rabbits come out.
That was their first appearance, yeah.
Yeah, and then they had a spin-off. And then from there, they became more important than Rayman. Which is like really sad. So that kind of sucks. And yeah, if you look at the story, basically they have all the source code for like the leak. And it's crazy because basically if you scroll down, it even says in one of the tweets, it says, looks like there's some actual semi-complete level concepts in here too. So the game was like really far along. It wasn't just like, like a few concept art.
They probably just hadn't announced it and that was it.
Yeah, so it's not complete, but it's apparently like really far in, and it sucks that they really worked on it for a while and then just ditched it for Rabbids. You know what I mean?
And then after that, it was just like spin-offs of Rayman here and there.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would kind of say is at least kind of a good news is that number one, if this leaked and everything, first of all, it leaking is good because hey, there's fans out there who might grab that, use it to make like a fan game, which is always kind of cool.
That's true.
Number two, it's kind of cool because if it leaks and if there's enough attention, that could show Ubisoft that people are interested and that could convince them to work on more Rayman. And number three, at least Rayman isn't totally forgotten. For that Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope game, there actually is going to be DLC of Rayman.
I remember seeing the teaser where it shows like his hair, and I was like, "Oh, he's back!"
Yeah, so it's just not totally forgotten. Like it would suck if it had been just Rabbids. No one's heard from Rayman forever, But the fact that they are bringing him back in the DLC, at least it shows that there's a part, at least, that they do still acknowledge his existence, and they do still care about him, at least, which is good.
That's
Like,
pretty
he's
good,
not
yeah.
totally forgotten, which is nice.
Yeah.
But still, it still sucks that he hasn't gotten more games. But like I said, we'll have to see if the DLC does good, and maybe if a lot of intention comes from this leaked game. You never know. Maybe there could be more waiting for him in the horizon. Who knows?
Hopefully they make like a new one because yeah, Rayman used to be very popular. I remember when they made the 2D one, it was called Rayman Origins, that you could tell even with the ad campaign that they were really trying to be like, hey, this is like the new big thing. And a lot of people did get it. It's just like when they try to make that sequel, Legends, like we were talking about, you can tell that's where it kind of went downhill again. And they were just kind of went back with Rabbids again because they're like, oh, well, we have the cartoon and blah, blah, blah. And they just went with Rabbids as their
Yeah, because
mascot.
rabbits are like minions. It's just so easy to use them for like anything and just, I don't know. Yeah. Alrighty. And then we have a couple more news stories. Let's try to just get through them. Oh, this one, once again, it's just a weird one.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, so if you guys think that Mario Party's bad in terms of it making people fight and ending friendships, you guys have no idea. As the title of this article states, Dokapon Kingdom Connect rated for Switch in Germany.
Jesus
So
Christ.
if you guys are wondering what Dokapon Kingdom is this game that, like I said, if you think Mario Party's bad, this is a game for up to 4 players that I think it's been on the Wii and the DS and I think the PS2. It's been on a couple of stuff. But basically, Dokapon Kingdom is this game for up to 4 players where it's a party game that is a party game, but it's also an RPG. And so it's this really weird game where you guys are basically tasked. I've seen the Wii one, for instance. Like, there's this king, and he says, like, oh, I'm going to have this competition that whoever wins gets to marry my daughter Penny, for instance.
Yeah.
And so you guys compete to see who has, after a certain amount of turns, who has, like, the most money and, whatever going on. And basically, it's an RPG where you run around the kingdom, and there's, spaces on the board. And it's an RPG because you fight enemies and you level up and you choose what to invest in, and there's different classes and stuff. But not only is it like, you're fighting against the enemies on the board and leveling yourself up and whatever, but you're also buying properties and stuff and investing in them that way. So I guess the best way to describe it feels like Monopoly, but with like combat.
Damn.
And not only are you fighting enemies to make yourself stronger, but you can fight the other players.
and
so that's what makes it so toxic, because think about it. It's not a good combination being able to buy out other people's stuff, being able to fight other people and embarrass them. And not only that, but this game encourages that if you lose somebody in a duel, you have options to humiliate them. Like, one of the options is you can literally change the other person's name.
Damn, so you could put like Dick Sucker if you wanted to.
So if I beat you in a duel and I want, your name can be Dick Sucker until like I don't know, like the next 5 rounds or whatever.
Wow, that's sad.
Or if you have like a really cool look that you like, where it's like, oh, I'm this guy, he has like a cool little pompadour and I'm really proud of it, I can be like, yeah, no, you lost, so you have like a bald head now.
That's sad.
So this game is just so hardcore because not only is it, like I said, really crazy because it's Monopoly, it's an RPG with combat, so it has all of that going on in competition, but it has all sorts of stuff to humiliate the other player as well. And so, oh my god, one of my favorite playthroughs I've ever seen. I've talked about them before. I've talked about the 2 best friends play. It's not them, but one of the people that came from that channel, his name is Wooly. He's the black guy with dreads. He made his own channel called Wooly Versus. He played that game with 2 of his friends. Another black guy named Reggie has like a little bit of an afro. And an Asian guy named Min, that, they're his friends. They played a 3, man story mode of that, compete against each other. It was crazy seeing them being at each other's throats. Like they were backstabbing each other, tricking each other, doing alliances against one another. There was so much salt. Like I'm saying, if you think Mario Party gets people heated, you have no idea.
That's crazy.
And basically the reason I bring this up is that except for like the Wii one, which is like really hard to get too. It's one of those games that's really like rare to get. Apart from like the Wii one, I think the other ones have mostly been like only in Japan, I think. And so basically, as the story says, tying back into the story, so it says it's been rated for the Switch in Germany. And then if you read the article, it says, while a Dokapon title with the name Dokapon Kingdom Connect has not been announced, it is possible that it is the localization of the Ramono themed Dokapon Up Mugen no Roulette, which launched for PlayStation 4 and Switch on December 10, 2020 in Japan. So that's what people are thinking, that they think it might not be like a new game. They think that it might be that game that's Japan only, it might be finally getting like a port for like outside of Japan.
Dude, oh my god.
Like it's one of those games I want to play, but I'm afraid to play it because it's just like it's so toxic.
It's that bad. Dude, I'm telling you, that's why when you mentioned Dokapon Kingdom Connect, I was like, oh hell no.
Oh my god.
The moment you mentioned the name, I was like, no. Like
yeah, like this is a game that I'm telling you, like it ends friendships. People get so salty because it's just so competitive and it's like so. Oh my god. But yeah, anyone who's listening to this, I would say check it out. Learn about Dokapon Kingdom. It's fun. And if you can, watch the LP on Wooly Versus of Dokapon Kingdom. It is hilarious seeing these guys beat each other's throats. It is just so funny.
Guys, I recommend this game. I recommend you actually get it and play with your like family and friends or even your loved one. And then
it's like divorce and like being kicked out of the family and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what I recommend.
Oh my god. And finally, the last news story I want to talk about is another short one. They've all been pretty short. And this will caught my attention because, well, I'll explain a little bit later. But for now, as the title says, Silent Hill, the short message, rated for PS5 in Taiwan. Now, the reason this caught my attention is that when I saw it, I'm like, wait a minute, Silent Hill, the short message, I don't remember that being in the Silent Hill transmission. I don't remember them mentioning that. And sure enough, I scroll down, and it says right here, Silent Hill publisher Konami held a Silent Hill transmission digital event in October where it announced several new Silent Hill projects, including a remake of Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill Ascension, Silent Hill Townfall, and Silent Hill F. A game titled Silent Hill, the short message, was not announced. So exactly, that's what caught my attention. I'm like, wait a minute. So this wasn't announced earlier. Where did this come from? And that's the thing. Apparently people don't know because it's weird. Like if this was in the works, why didn't they mention it in the transmission?
Yeah, that's very suspicious.
That's weird, right? But then if you look, it has not only a rating, but it says right here, update 4:30 p.m. Because every time you read one of these articles, they update them like during the day or whatever.
To give more information, yeah.
Update 4:30 p.m. The rating has been updated with an official artwork and description. It reads, and it says Google Translate from traditional Chinese. Anita came to an abandoned apartment in order to meet her friend Maya, and somehow woke up to find herself trapped in it. She must escape her own fears and the monsters lurking in the corridors, discover the truth behind the events she's trapped in, and try to escape before her own trauma consumes her will to live.
Oh yeah, because that's how Silent Hill works. That has to do with mental stuff.
Yeah, and then it has artwork, which is literally like some weird apartment building, I guess, looking thing. It's kind of hard to tell because it's really corrupted. Everything's all glitched, red.
Yeah.
And it has it says it go away in blood, and there's like stuff peeling off the walls and stuff. And it's so
looks pretty glitched.
Yeah, but it's so weird because if this game is really coming, why didn't they mention it during the transmission?
Yeah, that's very weird.
So that's what makes me so curious about this. Like, I hope we get more information because it's so weird for there to be like artwork and a description and a rating. But yet, we never heard about this before. So that's what really caught my attention. We want to talk about it. Weird, right?
That's what I'm saying. It's very weird that they just mentioned it randomly.
Yeah, it's just so crazy. But I don't know. I mean, I guess the more stuff they make, that's cool. I just I'm just hoping some of these turn out good because Silent Hill's had kind of like a checkered history where the first ones were really good, then after that they kind of fell off a little bit because those studios working on them didn't really understand and they weren't really subtle and they tried too hard to like I don't know, they tried too hard and they didn't really know what they were doing. So the fact that we have like a few games coming out, a few projects, I mean, as long as some of them are good, I just want some of them to be good. Like, please, 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 you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, there we go. That's just where I wanted to end off because I just thought that was such a weird story that how do we have a game coming out that they didn't announce? Like, it's just so weird.
Yeah, it's very weird, especially because it seems like it's pretty far, like even the plot, the way they like the summary. So that's the thing that's kind of weird that they didn't announce it, unless this really is something that's more recent. But it said right there that it wasn't even revealed and that had been out for like a while and stuff.
Yes, I don't know, man. This is very, very strange. But
I know what Konami's gonna do next. They're gonna make a thing. They're like, guys, this is the next Silent Hill game, Silent Hill pachinko machine.
Oh, they already did that.
Oh damn, never mind.
Yeah, they already made a bunch of pachinkos of all their bullshit.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. But that brings us to the end of the news week. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully, we talked about something that piqued your interest, whether it was the new Switch or the whatchamacallit. Either way, it was the new Switch or it was the Silent Hill game or it was the Rayman or whatever. Hopefully, there's something that caught your guys' attention.
The Dokapon.
Or the Dokapon, yeah, or whatever,
Yeah.
just whatever. But hopefully, I got you guys' attention. And with that being said, and piggybacking off of the last thing we talked about, for this week's topic, I wanted to talk about not an anime, since I talked about a lot of animes, but I want to talk about a game. And it kind of came to me that I should talk about this game because it kind of has to do with the last news story. But my recommendation of a game that everybody should check out is Silent Hill Shattered Memories. Now, Silent Hill Shattered Memories, for anyone who doesn't know, I actually played it on the channel. You guys can check it out. I played it with Terrific, and it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was about 12 parts. It's not very long. And basically, the reason I love this game is, like I said, Silent Hill has had a bit of a checkered history. Like the first 3 games are really well loved. Then the 4th game is kind of eh. Then from there, the games are kind of like really like mid to bad.
Yeah.
And this game came along, and even though it's still kind of mixed, it's a lot of people say this is probably one of their like favorites out of like the newer ones. And so basically, Silent Hill Shattered Memories, to give you guys some background, came out in 2009. And it was developed by Climax Studios, so it was a foreign developer. It wasn't Konami itself. But what's really interesting is that this game came out on the Wii, the PS2, and the PSP.
So one Nintendo console and 2 PlayStation. That's interesting.
The first time I played this, I actually played it on the PSP. And real quick, the best version is actually the Wii. Then the PlayStation Portal version is okay, but it's like smaller scale. And the PS2 version is supposed to be the worst one because it they really had to like tone down a lot of like the textures and graphics and stuff. It runs the worst.
Oh wow.
But basically, to explain the game, Silent Hill Shattered Memories is a reimagining of the first game. And so basically in the first game, all of that game was all about this man named Harry Mason, that he was looking for his missing daughter, Cheryl. And she had gone missing in Silent Hill. And so when it starts, he crashes his car, and it's that he's looking for his daughter. However, what makes this game different is that it says here, it's a reimagining of the first game. So it starts with the same, where he gets into a car crash, he's looking for his daughter. But then from there, it's in a different fictional universe where it introduces like a different plot and characters, and there's like different endings you can achieve. And it's different because basically the whole gimmick of this game is that it's story and then it's psychotherapy sessions. That's what makes it really interesting.
Oh, that's pretty interesting, yeah.
So for instance, like it starts where like I think he crashes his car. I don't remember exactly how it goes. Let's say it starts with him crashing his car, right? And it's like, he wakes up and he's all dizzy. And then it
Yeah.
cuts to the first therapy session, and you're sitting in front of a psychologist. He's talking to a psychiatrist, and he makes you fill out a questionnaire. And basically, based on what you do during the psychotherapy sessions, it changes stuff about the gameplay. Like
Oh, that's super cool. That's
sometimes,
super cool.
depending on what you answer, like to give one of the little things away, for instance, if you basically answer questions in a way that makes it seem like an alcoholic, then the
Yeah.
first location you visit, instead of it being the diner, which is what most people visit,
Yeah.
instead Harry visits a bar instead.
Oh wow, that's actually pretty good.
And then based on like how you answer questions about how like kinky you are, like how like sexual you are. For
mm.
instance, you might either have like a plain looking cop that's helping you, or you might have a cop that like has like her titties out.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. It's pretty cool that it really does like based off your decisions and stuff, and it kind of
Yeah.
like it changes the plot a bit, like it
And that's what makes it
personalizes
so
it a bit.
interesting that it is a survival horror game where the psychotherapy sessions and when you answer, it's almost how to say, oh, every game's personalized.
That's what I'm saying.
This
It's
is
like
a
a
game where it actually
personalized
kind of
plot.
does
Yeah.
it. This is a game where it
hmm
actually kind of does it. Not perfectly, but it literally does make changes based on how you play it.
That
And
sounds
that's
pretty
why
cool.
I love this game because it's just so interesting. It's so weird. It's so creepy. And whenever you're not in the psychotherapy session, like I said, you're exploring you're exploring the town of Silent Hill. And what's crazy is that you'll be exploring, and then you'll get to a part, and then out of nowhere, everything will freeze over. And what you have to do is that you then start getting chased by these monsters. And what you have to do is you have to run away from them. You can't defend yourself, and you have to
Wow.
reach an exit. And basically, it's a huge maze where you have to run to the exit without getting hit, and then you can resume gameplay. And it's like
Oh
so
wow.
tense because you can't defend yourself.
That's crazy. Unlike the other games where like you can actually defend yourself.
Yeah, so it's just this really, really weird game where it plays based on how you play it. It changes things around. It does the psychotherapy sessions, which are really interesting. It's about exploring the town, creepy stuff. Silent Hill's always been kind of cursed, so it's really interesting. How stuff's playing with terrific. I was telling them like if you look at like the different messages and stuff around town, you can tell that like a lot of like dark things happen in and around the town.
hmm
And then not only that, but you have sections where you're getting chased by monsters and you can't do anything about it. So it's just like, oh my god, this game is just so cool. It's just so good. If you can, I would recommend playing the Wii version. Even though it can be a little bit annoying because of the motion controls, it's still like the version that runs the best. It's the most immersive. If you can't do that, then I would maybe suggest the PlayStation Portable version. It's like the second best playing game. And the PS2 version, obviously, like I said, not only is it the hardest to find, there wasn't that many copies of it, but it's also like the one that runs the worst, honestly. So
Okay. So Wii version or PSP? Okay.
yeah. And then like I said, it's just like a really interesting game, man. If you want to play a game that's like very different and like the gimmick is like so crazy, where it like basically studies you and changes the game to like give you like an experience that's like unique, then there you go, man. This game
That's
has
pretty
all
cool.
that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then it has different endings and stuff too, and like different stuff you can change. So it has a bit of replayability too.
hmm
So I think that's really fun.
Because you said, yeah, different endings. So obviously, like, if it's like, oh, yeah, you need to do this decision, then obviously choose that one. But then you might have to choose like these decisions as well. And, that's actually pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's just a really good game, guys. I recommend it. And like I said, since the last story had to do with Silent Hill, that kind of made me go, you know what? I think I will recommend Silent Hill as the like topic of the week. Not only that, but I don't know. I don't know if you've noticed. Have you noticed that a lot of a lot of horror movies come out in January?
A lot of them come out like really early in the year.
Yeah, like I know last year, like Scream came out. I think it's also coming out this year, like the next Scream movie, and like a few
hmm
others. So that kind of made me think something about January just seems like it attracts like horror movies. So I was like, why not like a horror game, I guess.
hmm
So there you go, guys. So my topic of the week, my recommendation is Silent Hill Shattered Memories. And once again, if you guys are interested in more information, not only do I have a full LP of it over on the channel,
That sounds
but I
pretty cool.
also did a retrospective where I talk about the history of how it wasn't always the plan for this game to come out this way. Like those different ideas for what the game could be. So I kind of talk about like the different iterations of it and then how it ended up coming out to be this game. So
That's pretty interesting. I'm
Yeah,
gonna go. I haven't seen that video, but yeah, I definitely would go watch it too.
nice. Then there you go, guys. So there you go. I have some content that I'm proud to share. So LP and a retrospective. So there you go.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Alrighty, and with that being said, guys, that brings us to the end of the podcast. Hopefully, the stuff we talked about interested you guys. Hopefully, you guys had fun listening. I recommended quite a bit of anime, and all of those news stories and stuff to look forward to, and Silent Hill, Shattered Memories that comes with its own videos to watch, and etc. Hopefully, you guys got something out of it. Hopefully, you guys will check some of that stuff out. And like I said, next week I'll try to be back with a few more anime to talk about. Some other ones I'm gonna try to finish. And any plans for you? What you might want to bring to the table next week?
Next week, I don't really know. I don't. That's what I'm saying. I have to like look into stuff. For sure. Obviously, I'm gonna come back with the next Earth Day, obviously, because it does come out like this upcoming week. But other than that, yeah, I don't really like. No, I have to like look into it.
All right, sounds fair enough. But yeah, we'll
Yeah.
try to be back next week if we can, guys. We'll see what we have in store for you guys, what we have to share. And yeah, check out our channels. It looks like we're busy doing stuff, which is pretty fun.
Yeah, I'm back on the
And
boat.
exactly. And we'll see you guys next week then, all right? Bye-bye.
Bye bye.